mansion's basement. Made it through the Carnival of Horrors, through the floodwaters. And now to see what makes this place so special. And also, I've been trying to think of who she reminds me of, and I just realized it's Caillou's sister. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Sanitarium. And this distinctly has the feeling of the part of the dream where we wake up just shy of finding what we're looking for. Hopefully this has a little bit more world integrity than that.
Max, come upstairs. There's nothing you could do, son. It's not your fault that you couldn't find it. Come on. Your mother wants you to help her in the kitchen.
Okay, Dad. I'm coming.
It's our house. All this time, we've been trying to cross an ocean, go through all these dangers to get to our house. Only to see what we felt from an outside perspective. The house itself seems so normal, but it's just twisting in places.
Yuck. The food in here is all rotten.
As if it's been sitting stagnant for all this time.
Steven, stop that. It's not done yet.
No, come on. I'm starving. When will it be ready?
The same time as it is every other day. 6 o'clock and you know it. Now shoo.
All right, I'll be in my study until 6 o'clock.
Something's burnt up in the bottom. I don't even want to know what it is.
Wow, you weren't kidding. Because this is one of those times it's not about what we find, it's about, well, what we experience.
Something's burnt up.
Okay. This isn't the part of the dream where we wake up, this is the part where we learn what it's all about. We can interact with so many things.
Creepy. It's making me nauseous.
Look at that, we can see our reflection in the mirror. That's pretty cool. You would find that entertaining? I can hear the shower, but there's nothing using it. It's just a walk through my own memories, from the perspective of the person I feel like I failed. I had been making the observation, last part, that all of this kind of feels like a therapy session for Max. And I actually am starting to think that that's where all of this is headed, but I don't think it's ever been more clear than right now. I mean, literally assuming a different role, just like a dream.
What a wonderful old clock. It's locked. Oh, poo.
Maybe I can find a key? I can't see what's in here.
somebody's grandpa.
Anybody else you recognize?
I guess this is the family that lived here. What a pretty lady. I guess this is the family that lived here. I guess this is the family that lived here.
Okay. Like funhouse mirrors. Ooh, and there's a key in the room on the left, and a tape.
Weird, the paintings move. Weird, the paintings
Yeah.
move. Birdhouse. I can see the other island.
So you look out those windows, you can still see the island. I kind of thought this would be one of those moments where the dream transitions from one story to the next, completely forgetting about the other. Alright, let's grab that stuff.
Oh, pooh. It's locked.
But maybe... You just have a vision of what's on the other side. You can't even see it yet, but you just know that's where you used to sit and read the newspaper in peace. A presence you can only feel when you're at the threshold of the door. This feels like the kind of game that would be impressive in its storytelling and visuals even now. So the fact that this came out in the 90s, it was really ahead of its time.
I'm gonna be a doctor when I grow up.
If you keep doing well in school, I don't see why not.
You really think so?
Of course, dear. I'm sure you'd be a wonderful doctor.
Well, that explains why you wanted to be a doctor. You wanted to help. Like you felt like you couldn't do with us. Just that one simple moment of guilt. I love in psychological horror stories like this, because it's very common to be like, oh, you, like, accidentally killed someone in an accident, or, you know, something extreme like that. In this case, it is a tragic backstory, but it's something... It's a piece of child logic that, because of its trauma, because of its impact, has never really left us. And it's part of the reason why childhood imagery, why child logic is such a large part of these visions. I'm wondering just how popular and well-known this game is, because I only heard about it myself through YouTube a few years ago. And, you know, I could see this being something that, if it was appreciated in its time, would probably be an inspiration for a lot of things that came afterwards, right?
This must be the ugly cousin.
That's your takeaway?
I guess this is the family that lived here.
Alright, nothing back here. And we cannot step outside. Alright, so where are we going?
Creepy. It's making me nauseous. The walls are squirming, like they're not even real.
Who knows how much of this is real? Okay, so we need to get into that room somehow. How are we doing it? There must be something we haven't found yet. We may have to go upstairs. Walls are running with black.
Oh my god, the walls are bleeding.
My poor baby. This would have kept you warm at the circus.
She's pretty, for a ghost.
The circus we never got to attend. We're essentially walking around as our sister, getting to see the aftermath, but without understanding that that's what it is. But from the perspective of Max, who, remember, we are... I don't know, there's just so much going on here. I mean, this is the kind of thing that I think psychological horror is really best at, because we're having to deal with the strangeness that we're seeing as we go, but we're also wondering exactly why we're seeing it, what mechanism is causing this. See, I feel like a lot of modern psychological horror games on Steam will often ape the style of things like this and Silent Hill 2. But here's a place where it actually has layers and really feels like it has some meaning, to the point where I still don't obviously understand just where it's heading, at least from the modern perspective. It's a lot of very non-literal storytelling, and stuff like that is a lot more common now. But it is dreamlike in the sense that even while we're playing as our character, it's almost like we're not, and I don't know to what extent we're aware of any of this, but that's probably the whole point. We're probably becoming more aware as we go. It's like the whole house, including the activities we performed, is just continuing without us.
Oh, poo. It's locked.
A lot of locks. So that was our room, I can see. There's the horse, there's the toy box we were digging around in.
I can't go that way.
And this must be Max's room.
A radio. I wonder if I can get any music.
I think that'll probably be the cassette on the shelf downstairs. 4 Fists of Fury.
I'm sorry, Sarah. I couldn't find it. I looked and looked.
It's a ghost boy. I feel like I know him. This doll only has one eye, but 4 arms.
Odysseus would be terrified.
The trains are moving, but they aren't plugged in.
Yeah, that's the spookiest thing that's happening here. Clearly this is all a way of forgiving ourselves, but I wonder, did we actually steal a car in the present day? We felt like we had uncovered something. Maybe it's just another part of our delusions, though. Like I said, I've come to believe that even the asylum sections are a part of this.
Oh, poo. It's locked.
Everything is locked. Where do we find a key? Have we attempted to come in here yet? There we go.
Stephen, why do you do this to yourself?
I just miss her, Diane. I miss her a lot.
We all do, honey. But torturing yourself watching old videotapes every night isn't the answer. Come to bed. It's getting late.
I guess you're right.
I wonder if part of this is a desire for her to have seen the reactions to what happened to her. Like, maybe if only she could have known how much it affected us, that she would know that we did care about her. Because in the end, maybe you're worried that it seemed like you didn't, because you weren't able to find her toy.
Hey, I can watch a movie.
Seems to be all. And there's a key. We can start to untangle this. Look at that. That's actually a staircase. Maybe it leads to an attic? We're essentially ascending a tower of our post-death memories.
The walls are squirming like they're not even real. A brass key. Wonder what it's for.
A number of things it could be for, so let's go try them. Actually, wait, wasn't there a lock on the clock?
The clock is open. Now I can move the hands.
Oh, but... Wait, but how do I know what to set it to?
All right, I'll be in my study until 6 o'clock.
He's a big ghost.
That's your takeaway. Although this top-down perspective is really cool because, remember, we have memories of this place, we have an intuitive knowledge of it. And so it's like we're tapping into the schedule, the routine. It's why we can sense what's going on in another room, even without being able to see it. There's a key and a tape.
Here's a videotape. It says, Home Movies. A silver key. It's all shiny.
Let's go. So it's... I mean, it is a cassette tape, but it's not music, it's video. Look at how much we stand out. Look how vibrant we are in this sepia-toned world. I guess we've probably kinda always been an idealized symbol of, I guess, a better life that we could have had. So maybe that's the idea of this. Maybe we see ourselves as something that can restore this place. Something that was never, in your eyes, what it should have been.
Here's a...
Dad, this is my secret hiding place. You're not allowed up here.
Tell you what, I'll turn this thing off if you give me a big hug.
Well, okay. As long as you don't tell Max where this is.
Okay. Now where's that big hug?
Love you, Daddy.
Love you too, Pumpkin.
Well, let's go find that hideout upstairs. Before we do that, it's probably worth at least trying the silver key on this door.
Here's a video. Maybe I'll try.
Nope. Look at this, like, it's doing so many cool techniques to make this world feel more alive. You can actually see the lighting on our character change when we walk through the light coming through the blinds. Up we go.
What a mess.
Not just in terms of the clutter, the whole place seems to be swirling. It's all hazy, unclear memories. Everything after she died was probably a blur.
Hey, that's where the key is hidden.
Got it. And that can only be to our room. Surely there must be more we can look around at.
I can't get past that old pile of junk. I can't get past that old... Wow, doesn't that look fun?
A trampoline? I thought it was a mirror. Okay, well, this is one way past.
Whee!
Well, physics aside, I guess it doesn't really matter in a dream world.
I bet there are all kinds of games and toys in there. It's locked. Oh, pooh.
Of course it is.
You found it, you found it. Come on, there's not much time. Follow me.
What did we find?
What a neat dolly. I'll call him Mr. Clown.
We found the clown doll. It's exactly like I suspected. This is all of us trying to set this right. Is there anything else here? Doesn't seem like it. Question now is, how are we getting out of here? There's nothing to be done down here. We've gone ahead and locked ourselves in the attic. Oh, from this side we can just climb up and over. Well, it's a good thing I found that, because that was really unclear.
Come on, Slowpoke. She's waiting. You have to hurry.
Who's waiting?
Come on, Slowpoke. She's waiting. You have to hurry.
I love that 90s jank. Did you actually just reuse lines within a few seconds of each other in scripted events?
Here's a... What a neat dolly. I'll call...
Oops, sorry about that. Come on in. Hurry up. What are you waiting for?
We didn't have to find a key. We had to set conditions right so that we would be let in. We had to deserve to come see ourselves.
This is too creepy.
That's the only thing you have to say?
An old dollhouse. It's rocking all by itself. It looks like a toy chest.
Well, I know exactly what to do.
What a neat doll.
You found it after all these years. I'm sorry it took so long. I'm so sorry. Don't be sad, Max.
I thought I let you down when you needed me most.
No, don't think that. You could never let me down. You're my hero.
Hero?
You're trying to save all those kids. I know you can do it. I love you.
I love you too.
Don't worry. I'll watch over him.
Goodbye, Sarah. It's time for me to face the future. Rest well.
It's your corpse. But in a spire of the asylum, now I know the asylum isn't real. But that part of our story is. And you said you're trying to help those kids. Maybe that's something to do with your career as a doctor? So you got into this field out of a desire to help children, out of some kind of atonement for you feeling like you let your sister down. Now, I don't know if you're working with, like, kids that are mentally ill, or if they have some kind of more, like, physical ailment. But either way, that explains why it was so important to you to help that town full of children, to liberate them from what you viewed as an isolating and dangerous thing that they didn't recognize as such. So whatever type of doctor you were, you got into this field out of a need to help children. A way to atone for what you felt was letting your sick sister down all those years ago. And that explains the nature of the first town. It makes you... It created a situation where you were able to be the savior to a group of kids who were under the control of some personification of sickness. But they didn't recognize it as such.
Just a child. Could it have died here?
Well, referring to a child as it in that context, or any context, is kind of weird. But you don't see it as actually being her.
Please, I've had enough of the circus.
The thing about the psychological horror angle is it's not just an excuse to show us strange monster designs. It really feels like we come away a little bit more whole every time we do this.
This gate is shut tight. What could be so important inside?
I don't know, but that looks like blood on the ground. Doctor's office with a bed.
A radio. Wonder if I can get any news from the outside world.
Today the world mourns as children who successfully responded to the Hope drug begin to die.
That's all there is to it. Right, we heard something about this on the radio in the doctor's office before. So I guess we were part of that so-called solution, and maybe this was all triggered by the fact that we're seemingly failing again.
Stern-looking fellow? Where do I know him from?
Impressive, isn't it?
Yes.
The artist really captured his strength in this pose. I'd introduce you to him, but he's, visiting my mother. She's been feeling run down lately, so my father thought it best that she get some rest at the clinic. I guess we should be going. We don't,
Jacob? I wasn't expecting you. I assumed with finals coming up next week that you'd be spending your time in the library. Instead, I find you here, wasting valuable time.
I've more than prepared for the finals, Father. You needn't be concerned. I'll do just fine.
You'll do just fine? Fine. Is that your goal? I thought I taught you better than that. Anyone can do fine. I don't want you to be just like every other student that medical school churns out. Remain focused on what is important, Jacob.
Yes, Father.
What does it mean?
Good question, but more importantly for an adventure game, items behind the painting.
Huh. A pipe valve. Strange thing to hide behind a painting.
Not a strange thing to be in a wall. Okay, maybe we can use this to control the drainage flow. That cherub statue was fading in as I stepped out. It actually kind of jump-scared me. Did you see that?
Whoever built this place loves ominous stone figures.
Are you trying to be my co-commentator? Did you see that, though? I could have sworn I saw it start to cry tears of blood. Did I actually hallucinate that? Because that was really weird if so. Huh. Maybe my peripheral vision mixed it up with the rust coming down from these bars, but even still, that was strange to not see a repeat.
What a strange device. I wonder what it controls.
Gotta start fiddling with it.
Doesn't seem to be working. Must need power first.
Come on.
There's a hexagonal hole at this pipe junction. What a
Can't... Come on. Can't hurt to try stuff.
Well, let's see if that accomplished anything.
It's an adventure game. You don't need to understand anything. You just need to put the right peg in the right hole.
It seems that the rotating electromagnet is linked to the stone weight. But what is the machine's purpose?
Only one way to find out. Okay. Okay, I think I see. So there's eight clamps. When there's contact, they will open or close. There we go.
Aha!
Yeah, so what it came down to there was that, like, you could reliably do it by just doing it 4 turns, 1 turn, 4 turns, 1 turn. I mean, I guess that means that there's, like, a reliable offset just because of the way it's all set up.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting indeed. I still don't really understand how that resulted in the gate opening, or I guess it dropped something down onto this mechanism and that moved it? Whatever, man. I'm just gonna take a save right here.
Save game.
Oh my god. It looks like a slaughterhouse. Damn!
Here, let me help you.
I'm such an idiot.
Patience is the key, Max. Never let the problem get the better of you. You know, I wasn't always this brilliant.
I don't believe you.
Oh, I used to botch my lab tests constantly, but I stuck with it and learned from my mistakes. You're my brightest student, Max, and you have the most potential out of all your classmates. Now come on, we still have a lot of work to do.
What does it mean?
So we were at least moderately successful in what we did, but it seems like we never were able to shake the imposter syndrome.
Oh god. It's terrible.
This is the most gruesome thing we've seen yet.
Who would butcher these people like this?
There it was. Okay, I'm really, really glad I didn't hallucinate that.
Oh god. It's terrible.
Okay, I guess it's still terrible. So we've seen our childhood. We've seen representations of what we imagine is us letting down the children. And now I imagine this is us going back to our medical education.
The local authorities are becoming increasingly suspicious of events here at the asylum. To ensure that my research continues unabated, I must rewrite the locking code for the back lab and move the subjects' bodies down to the crematorium before the sheriff arrives for an inspection. The chalkboards must also be washed clean, for they contain the encrypted codes.
Hey, Dr. Morgan, we looked everywhere, but we ain't been able to find them.
What? That's the third time this week.
But I mean, maybe...
Spare me your insight. You're pathetic. A man cannot vanish into... Both of you. Get this wretch out of here. He's too damn old for my purposes. As for our missing patient, I'll find him myself.
Yeah, but what about this stuff? Shouldn't we ought to clean up here? I mean, before the inspection.
I'm aware of it. We'll take care of this mess after we find him.
Oh, are we boring you, Max? Still, it seems like we have at least a perceived antagonistic relationship with this Dr. Morgan. Now, whether that's real or whether it's a cry of fear situation where he just kind of presents as the villain in our story, that remains to be seen.
I have a feeling there's a message hidden in this rambling mess.
I search in vain for the elusive solution to this, a most intriguing puzzle. Evading me the way a mouse does a cat, the source of insanity remains hidden from me. Darting from flesh to muscle, muscle to bone, and back again to the fortress of the mind, this evil seems always to maintain one step ahead of me. How can I trap what I cannot see? Surely I am close to the source by now. Eventually it must rest, and when it does, I will be there to ensnare this beast. Once removed from its host, I am confident that it will wither and die like the weed that it is. Knowing now how difficult it is to find this hidden monster, I am led to believe that the age of my test subjects may be a factor. Younger subjects tend to display less evidence of infection. The madness is so entrenched within the aged frames of my older subjects that it is nearly impossible to discern the sane tissue from the insane.
You're treating sanity like a spreading infection. I don't know what to make of any of that.
Oh, God. It's terrible. There's some kind of electronic security system on this door.
Enter code.
Damn!
But what is the code?
Now what?
Will we have to mess with these guys over here?
I have a feeling there's a message hidden in this rambling mess.
Experiments 1 and 2 were complete failures. Unexpected complications during my exploration into the brains of the test subjects regrettably cost them their lives. The loss of a few lives is negligible when compared to the benefits that a cure may bring. Obviously, I was in air when I thought the root insanity grew from the brains. Housed elsewhere within the complex frame of the human body lies the key, but where? There are so many dark avenues to explore that I hardly know where to begin. Humbled by this daunting task, I need time to regroup before I renew my search for this elusive prey. Years of research have taught me to be patient, else all could be lost in a reckless pursuit of the solution.
It doesn't seem like I can interact with the text itself. And yet, enter a code seems to be something of a state that I can get into. Not that I need to figure out what the combination is myself.
I have a feeling there's a message hidden in this rambling mess.
I stand at a crossroads. Shall I venture forth to unravel the mysteries that lurk beneath the mundane flesh, or turn back in fear of what I may find? At times, I feel as though the weight of the world rests upon my weary shoulders. Lacking any sense of direction, I have blindly followed in the footsteps of those who walked before me. Valiant though my intentions may have been, I was powerless to stem the tide of insanity that washed against the shores of the asylum. Although conventional medicine has yielded a few encouraging results, I see no indication that an answer will be found using those methods. The time for conservative medicine has passed, and a new approach is necessary outside of the mainstream. With scalpel in hand and hope in my heart, I now prepare to tread upon the virgin soil of the mind. No longer bound by the archaic standards of traditional medicine, I feel reborn.
Imagine your doctor starts talking like this. So, what are we doing then? Can't see anything over here. This place more and more greatly resembles a dungeon than a place of science and medicine.
The source of insanity remains hidden.
Okay, I just realized that we can click here.
This evil seems always to maintain one step ahead of me. How can I trap what I cannot see? Surely I am close to the source by now. Eventually it must rest, and when it does,
D. Oh, it's the first letter of each sentence.
once removed from its host.
Alright, well, it's a good thing I was able to mouse over that. I actually looked for that earlier. Not the first letter of each sentence, but just looking to see if there was anything I could click on. IED,
Younger subjects tend to display less evidence of infection. The madness is so entrenched within the aged frames of my older subjects that it is nearly impossible to discern the same tissue.
Okay, wait. Let's start over.
I have a feeling there's...
I search in vain for the elusive solution to this.
It stays. So it's not possible to get it wrong.
Does a cat, the source of it ain't one step ahead.
IEDHEOT.
Surely I am close to the
Oh,
source
we can rearrange them.
Eventually it must rest. Subjects tend to display less evidence of infection.
Theo.
Madness is so entrenched within the aged frames of my old...
Here's the thing. I like anagram games. I don't have a word for that. Well, let's try it with the others then. It's going to be kind of annoying doing this with you talking.
Unexpected complications during my exploration into the brains of the test subjects regrettably cost them their lives.
O.
The loss of a few lives is negligible when compared to the benefits that a cure may bring. Obviously, I was in error when I thought the root of insanity grew from the brain itself. Housed elsewhere within the complex frame of the human body lies the key, but where?
Why?
There are so many dark avenues to explore that I hardly know where to begin. Humbled by this daunting task, I need time to regroup before I renew my search for this elusive.
No, I don't understand. Am I missing something? Oh, we can move between them. That makes a bit more sense. Okay. Well, okay. Let's say hot. A 2-word anagram. That's a little bit tougher. Well, look, a 5-letter word. This is a huge shot, but I can clearly see it. Those word games I play on my phone are paying off. I think it's going to say youth. The youth. Okay, it's a message between boards. This is a really cool puzzle. I mean, I wouldn't have figured it out. Yeah. I wouldn't have figured it out had I not moused over these letters.
Shall I venture forth?
But there we go.
That lurk beneath the mundane flesh, or turn back in fear.
It's one of those things where I can feel like it might take a while if you don't realize that. But once you've got it going, it's neat.
I have blindly followed in the footsteps of those who walked before me. Valiant, though my intentions may have been, I was powerless to stem the tide of insanity that washed against the shores of the asylum. Although conventional medicine has yielded a few encouraging results, I see no indication that an answer will be found using those methods.
Okay, well, that's pretty clear to begin with, isn't it?
And a new approach is necessary outside side of the mainstream, with scalpel in hand
Salvation.
and hope in my heart. I now prepare to tread upon the
But we've
virgin
gotta...
soil of the mind.
we've gotta
No longer bound
slowly
by
move
archaic
all
standards
this
of
back.
traditional medicine.
Salvation. The youth salvation. Now we just need to know what's going on over here. Let's try it like
Darting
this.
from flesh to muscle, muscle to bone, and back
Hide.
into the forges of the mind. This evil seems always to maintain.
Hide
its
toe.
enemy. How
Yes,
can I trap
hide
what
the
I cannot
toe.
see? Surely I am
Hide the
close
toe,
to
youth
source by now.
salvation. Yes, clearly, brilliant.
Eventually, it must rest.
Oh, I was missing a letter. That explains things. I've been completely unable to figure this out until now. We're looking for a 5-letter word. Let's revisit hides again. He hides too. I can't even put that together. I don't remember what each one said. Let's just put it in. Now we've got to put it all together. The words were separate, not necessarily in order, even on those boards. This is a massive leap in logic, by the way, except for the fact that the interface is telling you that it's right. All right. The
key to salvation. Hides youth. Damn.
No, that's not a sentence. We're missing words here. Oh, wait.
Youth hides the key to salvation. Youth hides the key to salvation.
How very on theme for our own personal struggles. One might almost say that's convenient.
God. Huh?
There you are. Been wandering again. You know you can't come in here.
We've
been through this before. If you ever want to get better, you have to let me help you. I know all this must be confusing to you, even frightening. But this work is going to help so many people. Sick people. People with no hope.
No!
Calm down. You're going to hurt yourself. Those straps can hold a man twice your strength.
The hive.
The only good bug is a dead one.
In this moment where we're being restrained, where we're powerless, we take on the role of like a superhero from when we were a kid.
This thing has some kind of mechanical harness. Wearing this harness, perhaps they'll think I'm one of them. It's worth a try.
Okay, well, we've got our pass now. I'm starting to think we may very well actually be moving around in the hospital. Maybe causing havoc while we do.
ID confirmed. Drone guard class, Sector 7. Proceed.
I'm starting to think we overpowered a doctor and took their ID card. Oh, but look, we actually feel more powerful as well.
ID confirmed. Drone guard
Yeah.
class, Sector 7.
I mean, we've been so slow and plodding the entire time. This guy moves. Yes, yes, yes. We're in some kind of fleshy landscape where it's organic matter growing around rusty machines.
Drone guard class not permitted within the Queen's chamber. Entry denied. Crap.
I've got to say, this is a very sudden change. The puzzles in that area were really cool, and what we seem to believe were being used for medical experiments against our will. But, as always, I'm not sure just to what extent our perception can be trusted. I mean, we're currently imagining ourselves as this thing, so, I don't know, maybe I'm even giving too much benefit of the doubt. I can hear something over on the right, but unlike other areas, there's not actually a whole lot to interact with.
Password. Crap. Entry denied.
Well, we'll learn as we go if we can find something else to talk to. These things act as door buttons.
Not so many. Slow down. Too many and the machine will overheat.
Ugh, I can hardly stand to look at these beasts.
Hey, they don't seem to have a problem with you.
The insects are pumping a bellows to control the furnace.
You're tossing bodies into the crematory, disposing of them on a massive scale.
The bellows. They are used to fan the flames of the infernal machine.
Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine?
This pipe has been fixed recently, though not too well.
Perhaps I can destroy it somehow.
They are refining fuel for their mechanized parts.
Using human corpses. But Dr. Morgan talked about needing to quickly move bodies to the crematory in order to clean the place up for inspection. Look at that thing. Some kind of living, deformed embryo being harvested alive. And what we saw in that room we entered, like fetuses in jars that all seemed to be moving alive. For a second I thought we discovered some kind of insane asylum sea consciousness. It sounded halfway between computer noises and a baby crying.
A handsome young Cyclops. I hope he can help me. By the makers! Grimwall! You're Grimwall! But what are you doing here? Why have you returned to us? I thought Gromna had everything under control. Grimwall? Is that my name? I don't remember much. Just waking up in this hive and having to battle a few insectoids. I had to use this strange device that I found on the large one, just to pass their security forces. It's an ID harness. Gromna built them for the insectoids since they lost their sight. With that on, you look like another bug to them. That's why they're not swarming all over you. Look, my name is Graven. We need to talk more. But until the work slows down, I'm stuck here. Afterwards, I'm going back to my pod. We can meet there. My pod's globe code is Grenisser. Use it if you need to get in there for anything.
So, should I maybe ask about this? I don't know if I can think of another example of dream logic being done this well, this early, where it gives us an entirely new context that we're just expected to accept in every new level.
It's some kind of alien child with 2 eyes and 2 arms.
How weird.
This monster is also half machine. Who are you?
TikTok. Cybernet technician.
What?
What is your function?
To integrate cybernetic enhancements to the flesh.
Who designed these robotics?
Ramna, honorable assistant to Her Majesty.
I require my ID harness to be upgraded.
Upon whose authorization will I grant this procedure? You delay in your response. I am busy. Return when you can produce the proper authorization.
Creatively, this must have been an absolute blast to work on. I mean, no two things are alike, that's for sure.
An insectoid pincher. The edges are sharp.
Well, we can use that. Maybe as a weapon. Or to cut open one of these membrane walls. Looks like a bridge, but we can't go over to this machine.
A great machine of some sort. Its size alone speaks of untold power. An insect.
Okay, yeah.
A great machine.
Yeah. Alright, so we're looking for a triangle peg to put in that triangle hole. Everything else is going to be in service of that.
Not so many. Slow down. Too many and the machine will overheat.
Giving us that again. Too many and it will overheat. So how do we bring that about? Well, maybe we can use this thing to tear off that metal plate.
Now what? This isn't working. No, not now.
And we can't use it to slaughter these bugs.
Password. Grab. Password. Renacier. Enter.
Ah, we got that password.
A sledgehammer should come in handy.
Imagine 2 sledgehammers with your 4 hands. Now that's a deadly idea I hadn't considered.
Wonder if Graven has any good crystals.
What a thought. What a thought.
And now, our breaking story this evening. During a helicopter sweep in the search for another missing child in the troubled remote community of Warrendale, authorities were startled to discover what appears to be a gigantic insect hive attached to Mount Sanitarium close to the ancient mechanical ruins. Details are sketchy at this point, but some sources have estimated that the visible portion of the hive is only a small part of the greater whole. More details on this breaking story as it develops. In an attempt to halt the infestation of the insect horde that is sweeping across our nation, leading entomologist Gromna will lead a team to infiltrate and examine the ever-growing hive. When asked why he was risking his own life on this mission, Gromna simply replied that he was willing to sacrifice anything to stop the infestation. When he heard the news, President Agris said, "Gromna is truly a great man, and we all wish him much success." Today, the nation breathed a collective sigh of relief as word from Gromna finally reached our closest outpost to the hive. Gone for months and presumed dead, it turns out that Gromna's team is not only alive, but they have found a method to slow the horde's infestation. Remaining near the hive, the team will continue their research in an attempt to stop the horde.
Hi, Graven. I guess you're not in. You must be out helping Gromna save the world or something. I just wanted to tell you that I love you, and I miss you. And I really look forward to you coming back to me soon. Goodbye, sweetheart.
So this is all part of some mission to ensure that this doesn't spread beyond its borders. And with those themes bleeding in again, all started with the search for a missing child. I feel like I'm watching a Rick and Morty episode at this point. I mean, for the most part, I've been able to speculate on just what this means with relation to us. And I guess I can do so now. Because, look at this, we are taking on this Superman role, this hyper-competent, hyper-intelligent, hyper-strong being who is stopping the spread of this filth. This form of corruption that is going to stay inert, going to stay safe as long as we're here to prevent its spread. Okay, now, maybe we can use the sledgehammer to destroy that pipe.
Not so many.
Yep. Yeah, you guys won't mind if I just... Yep.
Start the bellows. Seal the pipe. To continue pumping with that damage would overheat the furnace.
Okay, maybe I can then stop you by going like...
I can't. That won't solve anything.
What won't solve anything? Well, maybe I can mess with the bellows?
With that bug gone, I can reach the controls. I'll shut down this abominable furnace.
Yeah, you guys are just kind of letting me carry out my act of sabotage.
The mechanized arm survived the fire. I wonder if it can be used against the beasts.
Seems likely.
It would be enjoyable. I can't use that here.
Well, at least you're acknowledging the weapon.
This insect is hooked up to a machine, and the levers must control the furnace. This is more complex than I imagined. There appear to be many controls, all interrelated.
Oh, God. This is so cool, though. Like, even the machinery is organic. It's hard to make heads or tails of what any of it means. Look at you, a living being strapped to this, presumably somehow powering it. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Yes, yes, yes. Things stay where I leave them. We can deploy your wings to different configurations. Okay, so presumably we need to match these controls to the symbols that we see here, right? So that's going to be... I don't know. We've got this symbol here, but what about this one? Oh, I see. Okay, we move the wings and it's like layers, slides. There we go. And depending on how we turn this, it'll be different. There are 3 different colors. This is so weird. This is so weird. We really do just have to work it out, huh? Okay, on red, we can turn it to this. Okay, so we do it for each color, and that'll enable us to push these buttons and advance that red a little bit more. So now we need you guys to be blue, and we can figure out what comes next. Seems like you need to be like that. And then we can make you... Well, if we turn you to green, then we can put you here. And that's a little bit more. Alright, I'm starting to understand this. They really did just put a puzzle in here where we just look at utter nonsense and have to familiarize ourselves with it, huh? Okay, well then, next... We can actually learn a lot by figuring out what we need to turn these things into. You're like an M thing. What can we do to get that M thing again? Like that. And then if we can change you... just change you until you're like that. Okay, so it's really just a matter of seeing what's the most different and changing based on that. There we go. So this really acts more as a reference than anything. We change you to you, and we can... oh, come on. We can remove those dots. And now we change you, and you become that, which means you to here, which means you to here. Okay. Puzzles in this have been really cool so far. They're strange, for sure. Cool. Alright, hopefully that'll work now.
No more genocide today, monsters. No more embers will be delivered now. I'm certain I'll find Graben resting in his pod.
Good idea. And I guess we don't need to worry about the horrific damage we've done, the creatures we've killed, or whatever consequences there are of stopping this process. We're a hero because we learned how to use the bug keyboard.
There you are. I was beginning to get worried. I thought something terrible might happen to you at the furnace. Especially since your memory is gone. No, I don't remember much of anything. I wouldn't even know my own name if you hadn't told me. Every Cyclopean child knows the name of Grimwall. You're the great hero of the War of the One.
Okay, I'm enjoying this praise. Keep keeping it on.
War of the One. Can you tell me about it? Oh my. You are confused, aren't you? The War of the One was a pivotal point in the history of our people. For years, we had fought the insectoids, neither side gaining ground as the planet was ravaged by countless battles. The Makers, creators of all and of nothing, watched silently for many years before taking action. They spoke to the leaders of both sides through grand visions, declaring that there was to be one final battle for supremacy. The victor would rule the planet, and the defeated race would be forced underground, never to return to the surface again. We won? Yes, thanks to you. You destroyed nearly a third of the troops, all by yourself.
Well, that's pretty cool.
If we won, then why are these things back above ground? No one really knows. Actually, no one really believed the story of the War of the One, or thought that there were any insectoids. Until now.
So this isn't something that happened like 3 months ago. This was something in ancient eons. I guess people have started to forget.
That evil machine will be silent for a while. Evil? It's just a furnace, isn't it? The thing was burning children, Graben. Cyclopean children. What? But how can this be? Gromna would never allow such a thing to happen.
Well, looks like you don't know Gromna as well as you thought.
Gromna? That's the name the bugs were using at the furnace. They said he's giving the orders to burn the children's bodies. That's absurd. He's my mentor. A brilliant entomologist. He'd never... What? Entomologist. He's our foremost specialist on insects. That's why the Peace Council chose him for this mission.
I thought, even from that report earlier, that there was something up with him. And I am starting to see more of the reality parallels.
Mission? What mission? What the hell is going on here? We were sent here to examine this hive a few months ago. We were captured, but Gromna convinced the Queen to put aside her plans of conquest and negotiate a peace treaty. Since then, it's been peaceful for both sides. In fact, tomorrow is the day that both leaders will meet to sign the treaty.
that explains the filth. An outbreak of some disease or medical condition, sent in to try and help the children. Maybe we felt that Dr. Morgan hadn't done his part or had sabotaged it in some way, and that contributed to the failure, maybe even on purpose.
I tell you it's true, Graben. Something is terribly wrong here, and I think that this Gromna person is somehow involved. You must help me. I'm sorry, but I can't. Not unless you have some physical proof to back up these wild accusations. Very well. If proof is what you want, then that's what you'll get. Graben, Chick-Tock requires authorization to upgrade my ID harness. Who can do that? Normally, Gromna is the only one who can authorize such upgrades. But with the increased activity in the Queen's chambers, he remains there almost exclusively. I think we can fool Chick-Tock if I make my position sound important enough. What should I say? Tell him that your authorization comes from Graben, protege of Gromna, honorable assistant to Her Majesty. That should do it.
All good.
Take my advice. That harness you're wearing won't get you past every security device. You might want to see the cyber technician for an upgrade.
I think it's about time, and we do have a metal arm. Maybe we can become even more powerful in the process? This whole thing almost feels like it could be a whole game in its own right. Right this way.
Who designed these robotics?
Gromna.
Where is he?
He is within the Queen's chambers. Since it is the eve of retribution, there is much preparation required. His plan must be executed perfectly.
So did you just leak the battle plans? What is this, a signal chat?
What plan do you speak of?
Your memory banks must be fluctuating. Gromna has seen the error of his time's ways, and has come to aid us in our desire for revenge. With his gift of cybernetics, we shall once again rule the surface.
You're really just telling us this. The peace emissaries.
Eve of retribution?
Are your memory pathways in need of service? The eve of retribution is known by us all. As of tomorrow, we will return to our rightful position as the dominating race of the planet. Under the guise of peace, we shall collect a debt that has been unpaid for decades.
How will this gift aid us? Are we not mighty enough to conquer the Cyclops without them?
Without the speed of cybernetics, we would be vulnerable to the nuclear fire which the enemy controls, incinerated before we even reach the city. But with the aid of cybernetics, we will be swarming within the walls of the capital before their hands can even reach the launch buttons. The dawn will bring the age of the insectoid. It is inevitable.
So there it is. Our history may be a lie. I mean, who needs gods when you have nukes?
I require my ID harness to be upgraded.
Upon whose authorization will I grant this procedure?
Graben, protege of Gromna, honorable assistant to Her Majesty.
Graben. Hold while I search my databanks for confirmation. My records indicate that Graben is the assistant to Gromna. However, his authorization alone is not enough. I will need to verify that you are of sufficient age to be placed within the Royal Guard. Proceed to limb scanner for positive age identification.
Limb scanner. Where is the limb scanner?
Some kind of scanning unit.
Okay. Maybe I should put in this thing.
Now what?
No? This will do. Hello?
The opening is far too small for my arm.
No, but that's what I'm trying to do.
That would harm. I can't use that heat. That won't solve.
Okay, so correct with extra steps.
Upgrade authorized. Step forward to have ID harness upgraded. Prepare for upgrade treatment.
Treatment? What treatment?
A treatment. They found a way to slow down the disease. It says here that a Dr. Morgan was ultimately responsible for developing the DNAV treatment. Didn't you study with the Dr. Morgan back in med school?
I was still a sophomore when he earned his doctorate.
Well, the treatment's called HOPE. It's supposed to decelerate the growth of the DNAV, almost doubling the lifespan of affected children.
The Aztecs found a way to survive the plague of Quetzalcoatl without conventional modern medicine. Well, hey, if Morgan is close to a cure, a true cure, then maybe he can use another set of hands. Maybe it's time to pack up here and go home.
Can't concentrate.
So you always felt overshadowed by his success. But you were willing to put that aside in order to help these kids. Alright, well, now we have the ability to gain more access. We don't have a password for that other pod, but maybe we can get into this one?
Royal Guard class confirmed. Enter. Yes!
And here's your sea consciousness.
By the Maker! These are Cyclops babies!
Dr. Morgan? What test is this?
Ah, Max. You're just in time. This is a test of the subject's threshold. The serum will travel directly to the neurotransmitters of the brain and without actually harming the monkey, cause it to feel excruciating pain all over its body.
What? Well, that's not an experiment. It's torture! What possible purpose?
When you outrank me in lab years, Max, you can question the methods. I see the potential fruits of our research, and that justifies the means. A valuable lesson in scientific research, Max. In layman's terms, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
What in the name of the Maker?
There it is. You viewed his testing methods as unethical. And maybe he could have helped himself out if he had explained how this would actually result in some kind of cure. But if those radio broadcasts are to be taken at face value, it seems like they didn't. It was suffering for suffering's sake, and maybe he enjoys it.
This Cyclops is half bug. Who are you?
Gritza.
Gritza?
Yes, that's my name, Gangplank.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
From Team Green.
You're totally gone.
Team? What team is that?
Research team sent to examine insectoids. Gromna, the leader, the betrayer.
You're a result of their research.
Gromna? He was your leader and betrayer? How did he betray you?
Betrayer. He did this to me. my body. Not Cyclops anymore. Half beast. His experiments left me for I am a freak now.
What has he done to you? What experiments?
Wants to live forever. These insects as the answer.
What? I don't understand. What answer?
That's
What are you doing here?
my duty to the Queen.
So he just needs access to insects, and he's willing to betray his entire species in order to do it, in the name of eternal life.
What duty is that?
Tend the young ones. They are fragile children. So young, but those of joy.
These bottles have children in them?
Clones, grumners,
Raised and sacrificed for the experiments. What we've seen is the entire pipeline.
A tube or tunnel of some sort. I wonder how it can be activated.
View at this.
This isn't working.
We can't walk across this pipe, but now that we've seen this, maybe we can go report back about it? So yeah, it's really clear at this stage that all this represents a lack of ethics, you know? The sort of inherent morbid brutality of medicine and how it's being abused even beyond and making it worse.
I've seen your fellow team members in the Queen's chambers. Gromna has interchanged their lower bodies with insectoid anatomy.
What? I haven't seen them since. We must save them.
I'm sorry, Graven, but their minds are gone. It's too late.
May the Makers preserve their souls.
That doesn't really get us much.
No, my strength will break the bottle. I need something to cut it free. Crap.
Oh, cut it free. I can actually try picking them up. Thank you. Well, I've got this thing now. Maybe now I can report back. You better have something to say about this.
I brought you the proof you asked for, Graven. Are you going to help me?
By the Makers. Yes, of course. I suppose we should search Gromna's pod. Come on. I have his globe code.
What's the globe code, Graven?
Immortal. That's the word to unlock the door.
Password?
Immortal.
Enter.
Cyclops, search warrant.
What are those?
They appear to be schematics of some kind. Judging by the shape and general mass, I'd say they were diagrams of the Great Machine.
Great Machine? What's that?
It's the huge round piece of machinery that sits on the edge of the hive. Some say it was left there by the Makers themselves. Others think that it's a power source of some type. It used to emit a weird humming noise, but now it remains silent.
What?
According to these notes,
2 parts may have been removed to aid the insectoids. I need to visit the Great Machine and see for myself.
That's what we found on the lower left side. Alright, well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna have more of a look around here. We can't move, of course, until you're well off frame. Wouldn't want us to screw things up by interacting with you.
Mutilated grubs. What is Gromna doing with them?
I don't know, they do look tasty. You guys remember The Lion King, how the Hakuna Matata song made those bugs look really, really good?
A locked cabinet. I suspect that the traitor keeps something important within. Grab. A locked cabinet. I suspect that the traitor keeps something important within.
Okay.
Now what?
Guess not.
Bugs will kneel before immortal Gromna. These designs, I do not understand them. Gromna's notes. They say that a sound generator will open the worm transport tube.
Sound generator? Alright, tell me what to do.
Have you figured out the purpose of the machine? Part of it. But I need time to properly study it. Gromna has removed 2 pieces from it. Generators of some kind. I need to attach the missing pieces to get the machine running again. Unfortunately, only Gromna knows where they are.
In these situations, you have to look at what's recently opened up.
This pillow appears to be rather lumpy.
Really? Because I certainly didn't notice that before.
Aha! A key.
Well, that was easier than expected. Alright, let's use you on the safe.
A control device. It seems to be generating an odd sound.
That's got to be one of our things. But it's only one of 2. Come on. Come on, let me out. The movement is still very janky, even if it is faster. And funnily enough, they've given us this faster movement in one of the smaller areas. I couldn't use it on the machine at all. Thankfully, there's a limited number of known craftables, or
This would
touchables.
appear to be the worm transport tube mentioned in Gromna's schematics.
Let's try this then.
Must I pass through the bowels of the monster?
Oh my god! Oh! That was unpleasant.
Hello, my children. Yes, Father is here. Father is here. Yes, my children.
This is horrific. Cage is just swarming with hybrid babies. And they see him as a savior. Much like the kids treated by Dr. Morgan probably do. He doesn't care for them at all. They're just means to his ends.
Caged Cyclops children! What have they done to this poor fellow? He's got an insectoid body. Who are you?
I am Grundle, and you are?
I am Grimwall.
Grimwall, the hero? Too late to save us now, hero.
Where are you from?
Research team. Sent to investigate the insectoids.
Sent by who?
Council of Peace sent us to stop the plague of insectoids.
Plague? You mean the insects were going to take over the cities below?
Yes. Until Gromna came up with his plan.
You mean the peace treaty?
Peace treaty? Hell no. He's helping the bugs get stronger with those cybernetics. They're going to attack during the meeting for the treaty.
What? I must warn the council before it's too late.
Already too late. Too far away from the city. Our poor people are doomed.
Gromna is a traitor!
Traitor and a butcher. He did this to me. Said he didn't want me to run away. Said I stay here forever.
Team? What team is that?
Council of Peace.
Okay, we already know all this.
What are you doing here?
I feed the clones.
These aren't real children?
Real enough for the Queen to feed on.
By the Makers!
The Makers cannot help us now.
It's a farm.
The grubs make noise. For what purpose? These grubs are making some kind of faint noise. I wonder... Ugh.
It's another puzzle for us to solve. It's a combination. Oh god, this is just gonna be trial and error, isn't it? Actually, no, it's not. Unfortunately, I don't really have an ear for this, so it's gonna be pretty hard.
Yes!
There we go. That was really difficult. Wow, this really is like Rick and Morty.
Ah, grown Cyclops children. What a horrible fate!
That device right there, that's what we need for the machine. We can maybe kill two birds with one stone. Power on ours and power off yours.
This looks like part of the great machine, but I can't move it. I need something to stop this machine. Only then can I disengage and remove it. She's half bug, but she still seems aware as a Cyclops. Who are you?
Gorilla. I'm surprised to see another Cyclops in the hive, especially in the Queen's chambers. You seem familiar to me. Do I know you?
I am Grimwall.
The Grimwall of the war? But how can this be? It must be a sign from the Makers.
Where are you from?
The city, of course. I was part of Grona's research team before he betrayed us.
I don't understand. How did Gromna betray your team?
It's a little complicated, but I've managed to piece it all together. I can tell you the whole story if you'd like.
Sure thing, even though I basically already know it all.
I don't have much time, but I'd like to hear your story.
I'll keep it brief. After we were captured, the Queen was set to execute us, but Grona convinced the Queen to let us live. Although now I wish we had been killed swiftly instead of suffering through Grona's so-called surgery.
I don't understand. How does this surgery fit into the insectoid's plans?
It doesn't. Grona has his own agenda. He seeks to unlock the secret of immortality. The insectoids have a greater metabolism than us, so he hopes to merge the two species and then use cybernetic enhancements in order to live forever. We're his experiments, his failures. We've been assigned to work here until we die.
Why do you stay here? Why not just escape?
We are part insectoid. We must obey the Queen's will, whether we want to or not. I suppose it doesn't matter anyway. One of the unfortunate side effects of merging our two species is dementia. Soon I'll be quite mad, just like the rest.
It's very much the same story playing out in different forms. Gromna is Dr. Morgan, but the Queen, the Mother, is Pestilence itself.
How does this thing work?
It's basically a large transfusion machine. Blood is drawn out of the clones and fed to the Queen.
Is there any way to shut it down?
Not that I know of. Gromna built it himself with some strange parts. Only he knows how it truly works.
Oh, that doesn't help me then. Is there anything else I can do?
I'll have to climb up there somehow.
How about like that?
Of waiting, the time has come. Today you assemble as outsiders, invaders. Tomorrow, your troops will sweep down upon the city in a murderous wave of retribution. For too long, you have known suffering. You have dwelt beneath the surface and watched your aggressors live in lands where you once lived. Will you remain underground forever? Can you endure this terrible injustice for one more day? Well, I am one of them. I, too, have been oppressed by your enemy. They laughed at me and my work. The very work which has given you your new cybernetic enhancements. The technology which will mow down all opposition in the coming war. Work which will allow you to overrun the capital city of Frontera and assume your rightful place as rulers of this planet. Your planet! Your time has come. Tomorrow's end will see the end of the Cyclopean Age and the dawn of the Insectoids.
So, not to take away from the horror of what's happening and what it represents, but are we invoking Poe's law against Dr. Morgan? Look at these backgrounds.
These screens show the enemy horde cheering Gromna's speech. There are so many of them. Surely the Cyclops race will be destroyed unless I can stop the insectoids.
Well, they're showing an enemy horde, but not this enemy horde. You're just perceiving it that way. Let's try and get this guy. Maybe there's something we can do from back here?
Strange. They seem to mark an entrance to nowhere.
Maybe we can do something about that?
No.
Alright. Okay, well, that didn't work. Can we maybe try just using the sledgehammer here?
This isn't working. No.
No.
Come on!
Let's get that last dialogue.
What do you do here?
I tend to the clones, monitoring their life signs. When they are near the end, I must call for a drone to remove it and carry its body down to the furnace. Then another drone brings up another clone. I do what I can to make their short lives a little less painful. It saddens me to see them suffer so.
Alright. Well, that's awful, but it didn't tell us anything new.
Graven's tools.
Oh, yeah, no, I had to look up a guide for this. Apparently we could pick that up. If I have 2 major complaints about this game, it's the repetitive nature of a lot of the dialogue, and the fact that it doesn't always highlight things you can click on. Your little lair is right above this. Maybe we can try this here? You definitely won't be happy about that.
A piece of machinery. I hope this is what Graven wanted.
Okay. Now, if we climb up again, will you acknowledge that it's stopped? You won't seem to. And you know what? That's probably a good thing. Probably better that you don't know.
Huh?
Oh, great. Now I'm stranded here.
Sorry. This flimsy stuff wasn't made to support my weight. Crap.
That's your response to everything, huh? It doesn't feel like our fault. So what are we to do? We still have
Piece of machinery.
all of these devices. We can talk to you from here. No? We can talk to you, but there's nothing new to say.
A sledge.
It's doing something. Oh, we can throw you the stuff! Alright, well, this is...
Where did you find this?
It was powering some type of machine that drained the blood out of the children and fed the queen.
This is awful. How could I have been so wrong about Gromna?
DNA
That doesn't look good.
Initiated.
Exactly.
No!
Molecular cohesion negative.
Damn it!
Vision of our own failures. This is one of those things that I could very, very easily have been stuck on for a long time, and I've been getting lucky with that stuff in this game, but my god, does it ever not tell you when you can do something.
What is it?
It appears to be a miniature wormhole.
A way home?
Where does it lead?
Nowhere right now. Think of this as a hallway with only one door open. Until another door can be opened, this doesn't lead anywhere.
What about the second missing piece?
That could be it. Wherever it is, you must hurry and find it before the peace treaty tomorrow. Something tells me that it's nothing more than a clever disguise for a more sinister plot.
Alright, I think I have the other, right? Can you use this?
I can't use that here.
No, there's another one somewhere.
These controls are similar to those Graven used to create the portal.
Are you kidding me? It's not even facing me. I can't even see what it is. Okay. Wait, no, we just need the grab that. Well, at least there's a quick way back.
My God, that's it. All along. It's been so simple.
Could it be? My God, that's it! All along, the answer has been right here, right in front of my eyes the whole time.
Now what? The whole damn hive will be bearing down on us any second now.
Hold on. I figured it out. The second piece serves as a compass for the wormhole. With this, I can open a doorway anywhere. I'm setting the coordinates for the chambers of the Peace Council. When we tell them about Gromna, they'll launch a preemptive nuclear strike against the hive. That's it!
You've done some incredible work, Max. It's really a shame.
Now where am I? Cyclops? Bugs? Mother? All of these monsters must mean something, but what?
So we were on the verge of something. I guess it's just a matter of what we're actually trying to prove here, and the order that these little bits of reality are seeping into our illusory world. And some children were given some sort of cure. Was it ours, and did we fail? Or was it Morgan's, and we have an opportunity? Either way, we would need to expose him in what he's doing. But he's doing his best to bury us. That's what this is. That's us learning the truth and then rising up. Maybe he wanted to paint us as insane and essentially used what was already wrong with us against us. With his knowledge, maybe he was even able to create the conditions for this, a former friend ready to throw us under the bus as just one of his many, many ethical violations. In a way, it makes sense. I mean, we were motivated by past failures. He's motivated by the inability to reach the heights, the expectations set for him. I'm really loving how it's able to cross so many different styles and yet maintain just one cohesive feeling all throughout, because the themes are the same, it just takes different shape. Like the dreams we have every night, they always prey on the same fears and anxieties, no matter how different they may be. And I love just how dark and morbid all of this imagery is. It actually uses its graphical limitations and style to make these things seem so much worse than they would be, I think, from like a modern, more first-person perspective. I mean, this whole game just feels like it's crawling. It uses its animations and its movement, and I guess its texture to have so much dirtiness. Like, it feels like you don't want to touch it. The whole thing feels like running your fingers over a pile of used needles, afraid that you'll feel a prick. But learning where all this is headed is going to have to wait until next
drowsy.
time.
Losing momentum.
Yeah, me too. So if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.
I need to get moving.